Good morning, Stampers. I'm Pat Fairless, and today I'm here with Learning with Friends, and I am excited. I have a great technique I'm going to show you today. I think you're going to like it. It's something a little bit different. It's been around forever. I probably first did it, maybe 10 years or more ago. Haven't done it in a long time, but I thought I'd give it a try again because I was cleaning closets and I found some stuff to use to make the felted cardstock. So I'm glad you're here today. I hope you like it too. And let's go ahead and get started. All right. Like I said, it is called felted cardstock, and the supplies that we need for this particular technique are some cardstock, obviously. I'm just going to use basic white. That's what I've always used, but I don't know why you couldn't use very vanilla or something else. Maybe you'll have some ideas. We need some plastic wrap. We need a decorative napkin. That's what I found when I was cleaning my cupboards. We need a newsprint pad, and we need an iron. And that will make our felted cardstock. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I have to iron, this is not an ironing board, this is just my table. I'm going to put down, I got 3 layers here of our thick, heavy cardboard that comes on our Designer Series paper pads. So I'm going to use this to help protect my paper a little bit. The newsprint will also help it. Like I indicated, we do need a pad, in a fairly good size thick pad of newsprint. But again, I have been using this for years, so it lasts a long time. And we are going to open our pad of newsprint to approximately the center of the pad. And this is what we're going to make our sandwich on, and we're going to iron. So like I said, we use cardstock. So this is a layer. We're going to build up a layer. So I'm going to lay my basic white cardstock down, and then I need plastic wrap. Now I just have glad cling seal. So I'm going to tear off a little piece of this. I will probably cut this down because I don't need so much hanging all over the place. And I'll tell you, one of the most problematic things with this technique is this glad cling seal really, really clings. As you can tell, have you ever bought cling wrap of some sort that no matter how you lay it over your cookies or whatever, it never wants to stick to the plate? Well, you won't have that problem with this stuff. This stuff sticks like crazy. The problem is it sticks to each other, and in this case, we just really want a single layer. So I'm going to smooth this out and have a single layer over the cardstock. I could trim this down a little bit more so I don't have as much, and maybe I'll just go ahead and do that. Because like I said, we're going to iron this, so anywhere there's this, it's going to melt. And that's what holds our felted cardstock together. This is basically acting like our adhesive. So let me get rid of that. Now I do have a little spot here that's kind of a double layer. See if I can get that off. If I can't, I'm just going to move it a little bit. Like I said, that's one of the most problematic things with this technique is that cling wrap really wants to stick to each other. Now the next thing you need is a decorative napkin. And I was cleaning cupboards, like I said, and I found several. I used to buy a lot of these dollar store. Anytime you'd have a special occasion, you could buy a pack of pretty ones, right? And invariably, you always end up with 1 or 2 left over. So this is a great way to use up those pretty napkins. And here we're going to need one about the size of our cardstock. So I'm just going to open this up. This particular one only has the pattern in one corner. For sure it was dollar store, right? Because they didn't decorate the other corners. I'm going to show you some more as well, but this makes kind of a pretty, very colorful, bright, just party napkin. Now what we need to do with these, they always have like a second backing of white on the napkin. So we need to separate that. And I started mine before I started the video just because sometimes it's a little hard to get loose at the corner, but just pick at it. You might want to take your pick tool. I just use my fingernails, but it pulls apart. Sometimes it's just hard to get started. Once it gets started, it pulls apart easily. You do want to be careful because this is very thin, probably even thinner than tissue paper by the time you separate these two. Like I said, these are dollar store napkins. So we're just going to pull this white backing all the way off. Throw that away. We don't need that. And then we're going to lay the portion on our cardstock that we want on our card. So I'm just going to try to center this a bit on my cardstock here. So that's pretty centered vertically. Sometimes you can see through it fairly well. Some napkins you can better than others. Others you can't. Okay. So that's our second layer. Now the third layer is we're going to take 2 pieces of the newsprint and we're going to lay this on top of it. And now we have our sandwich. Now we're going to iron this for a couple minutes or so until that plastic wrap is melted. So I'm just using my regular iron here. You do want to set it at your highest setting, but you want to make sure you don't have steam. So if you have steam, go ahead and turn that off. I've had this warming up. Let me check with my little finger test. Yep, it's hot. So I am just, excuse me, tickle this morning. Oh, sorry. I'm going to just kind of rub this back and forth. I like to not hold it in one place too long. And it does take a couple minutes, and we can check it periodically. I had a friend that used to tell me I like to iron because I ironed everything. I don't know if I like to iron or not, but I don't really mind it. My mom taught me how to iron when I was probably 8 or 9 years old. I remember she started on Dad's handkerchiefs, and that's what I learned on. Then I was graduated to pillowcases, and we went on from there. So this has been a bit. Let me go ahead and set this aside and check. Oh, sorry about the tickle here. So I'm going to lift up these 2 pieces. And you can see here on the outside, it has started to melt. And I am going to carefully just loosen this up a bit. It is hot, so be careful. And I'm going to check to make sure that it's well adhered. And you can see this corner is not. So we'll just put this back down and focus a little bit on that corner and that side. It can take a couple minutes. But it certainly isn't anything hard to do, right? So let me double check again. And again, I'm going to carefully slip my fingers under here. It is hot, so be careful. And this corner does not want to stick. Let me check the others. Those are stuck. So I am just going to focus well up here. Maybe I didn't have the plastic wrap under that corner. I'm not going to worry about it too much because my card isn't going to be as big as this napkin anyway, so I trim it down. But you do just want to make sure that it is adhered. And you're just waiting until that plastic wrap melts. Okay, so I think that should be good. I'm going to set my iron way out of my way so I don't put my arm in it. Okay, I probably didn't have plastic wrap. But there is what felted cardstock looks like. Now let me get this stuff out of the way. And we'll just bring in my trimmer. And we'll trim this up just a bit. You can always trim it to the exact size that we need later. I just want to get the roughness off the edges. So trim one side first and then just work your way around. And again, depending what size you want it in the end. Oops, that was my score blade. That does not work. And I might have to fix that because I used the score blade and you can see it kind of tore the napkin. You do want to have a nice sharp blade when you do this. And I am going to trim this down just a bit to clean that rough edge off. And then I'm going to take a look at how big I have it here. So can I get 5 and I can get 5. I can get 5 1/4. Let's start with 5 1/4. Always easy to take off instead of add. Now it's not exactly centered on there, so I probably would go back and just trim this up. But let me show you the finished card. I don't think I need to show you how to trim stuff down. So here is my finished card with that particular decorative napkin. Cute birthday card. Doesn't get much easier. All I did was add a little boho blue ribbon. I did mat it to boho blue, and the card is thick basic white. Stamped a sentiment on the inside. Added 3 little boho blue embellishments and called it good. So that was that one. So let me show you the other two. We also a lot of times may have pretty napkins for Thanksgiving or fall or something. This particular napkin did have all 4 corners decorated, so I could get 4 cards out of that if I wanted. And here is my card with that one. Again, it was on basic white cardstock. This is very vanilla, so in this case, I could have definitely used very vanilla, I think. But if you look at the pattern on the napkin, you can see it's got some of these stripes around the outside. So I tried to keep a couple of those, and then I paired it with Cajun Craze and wild wheat, and I thought those colors really worked amazingly well with the colors in the napkin. On the inside, I made this into a Thanksgiving card. These are both old retired sentiments. I do not have any current ones. This is the stamp set is Courage and Faith from the current catalog, and these branches here are in that stamp set as well, and that's on the inside. But these two are retired sentiments. So that was my card number 3. And then my third card is a Christmas card, and this is the little napkin that I used. This is a little smaller cocktail napkin. Cute Santa, isn't it? And here is the card. So these are really quick and easy to make. You don't need a lot of decoration or embellishments. Lots of times all you really need to do is add a sentiment. And then the inside, I went through my stash of Christmas stamps, and believe me, that's a journey in itself going through all of those. But I looked for one that had Santas in it to see if I could find some good sentiments to go with Santa. So again, these sentiments are from retired stamp sets, as are these little packages. But the main idea here is not to show you Stampin' Up! Items, it's to show you how to do felted cardstock. The colors on this one, I used Pretty Peacock, these are current, obviously. And the card base itself is Pecan Pie. I love that combination of pecan pie and pretty peacock. And I thought it worked really well with this particular napkin. So those, let me bring these all in. And here I just stamped a hole on the envelope. But those are my 3 cards. So I got a little jump on Christmas, Thanksgiving, and a nice bright and cheery birthday card. So I hope you like that technique. I am going to bring my camera back here, if I can find out where my mouse is. All right. Sometimes my mouse goes to sleep and it doesn't want to move. So I can't get back to my camera. So that's what I had for you today. I hope you like it. I hope you give it a try. It is easy. And if you're like me, you've probably got all these onesie twosies, pretty napkins that are too pretty to throw away. But what do you do when you've got just 1 or 2 of a pretty napkin, right? So now you know what to do with them. You can make some pretty cards, and it is called Felted Cardstock. So I hope you like that. Again, I'm Pat Fairless with Fairless Stamp and Flair. If you enjoyed it, will you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel? I hope to see you again next week with something even better, maybe? I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. We'll see. But I hope you like that. Have a great weekend, friends. Bye-bye.